Hi everyone, and welcome back. Today will be our final lesson in our FrameMaker series, so I'd like to summarize our lessons by showing you how to build and generate a book in FrameMaker. Up until now, we have been learning individual features of FrameMaker, such as tables, cross-references, and text insets. Today, we're going to put all our knowledge together and create two books, an online version and a PDF version using the same source files. We will include some differences between both books by using variables, conditional tags, and carrier files. By the end of today's lesson, you will have successfully created your first official technical rating document. Let's begin. The first step in building your book is creating your source files. Today, you'll create 5 source files that will be used in your book. To create a new file, from the File menu, stand on New and choose Document. Feel free to choose any template except for Table of Contents, or TOC, as we'll call it for short, because we'll create our own TOC later on. Click New and the template opens. I recommend creating a folder on your local hard drive for your project, as you will have many files for your book by the end of this lesson. We'll call this folder the Project folder. Once the Project folder is created, go ahead and rename and save your file in this folder. You'll notice that I named my files Overview, History, Technical Documents, Tools, and Techniques. Feel free to use this structure or create one of your own. Now, create 4 more source files using the process we just described and save them all in the project folder. Now that you have created your 5 source files, you need to add text. For demonstration purposes, I simply searched a topic in Wikipedia, in my case, technical writing. Then, I chose 5 different sections, which I used for each section of my book. Feel free to use this idea or any text that you wish. However, make sure to include the following in your source files: tables, see Lesson 2 for a review; graphics, see Lesson 3; text insets, see Lesson 4; and cross-references, see Lesson 5. At this point, you should have a project folder containing 5 source files, each containing text, along with a mixture of tables, graphics, text insets, and cross-references. The next step in creating your book is to create your carrier files. We will be creating 2 books, one online version and one PDF version. Therefore, we need a carrier file for each book. To create your carrier file for the online version, create a new document by choosing File, New, Document, as we did previously. I recommend choosing the same template you used for your source files when creating your carrier file for consistency purposes. I always give my carrier file the prefix carrier to differentiate it from my source files, followed by the book name, followed by the version name. In this case, my carrier file for my online book is called carrier _ technical writing _ online. I recommend using this format for your book, or you're welcome to choose a different format for labeling your carrier file. Whatever format you choose, be consistent so that you can easily differentiate your carrier file from your source file. Go ahead and create your carrier file for the online version, name it, and save your file in the project folder. Now, let's take a look at the content of my online carrier file. At the very beginning, I always write the title to define which book this carrier file is for. Then I create a table for my variables, which define each variable name and definition. Remember from lesson 6 that the variable name is simply what I call my variable, and the variable definition is the text that appears in my document. I have another table for my conditional tags. This table shows the tag name, tag definition, and a visual representation whether this conditional tag is shown or hidden in my book. To create the Show Hide column in your book, copy the text in the Tag Name column to the Show Hide column. Then, add the appropriate conditional tag to the text in the Show Hide column. Then, hide the PDF conditional tag. The PDF text in the Show Hide column will also be hidden. Go ahead and add content to your online carrier file. Once you've completed this step, you'll need to create your PDF carrier file. Good practice is to copy your online carrier file and simply change the suffix from online to PDF. This ensures that both files use the same format and will help you see the differences between each. I'll open my PDF carrier file so that we can examine the differences. A really handy feature in FrameMaker is the ability to view two documents simultaneously, one next to the other. To enable this view, from the window menu, choose Tile. This is really helpful when you want to compare two files and eliminates the need to switch back and forth between them. To revert to the original view and view only one file at a time, from the window menu, choose Consolidate. Let's examine the differences between my PDF carrier file and online carrier file. In the PDF file, the version number is 2.0, and in the online file, the version number is 1.0. In addition, in the PDF file, the PDF conditional tag is shown, and in the online file, the online conditional tag is shown. Pause the video for a minute while you implement these differences between your two carrier files. Before moving on, make sure that you have the following files in your project folder. 5 source files, each containing text, along with a mixture of tables, graphics, text insets, and cross-references. 2 carrier files, one for the online book and one for the PDF book, each containing content. You are now ready to create your books. Let's create the online book first. From the File menu, stand on New and choose Book. Your new book opens automatically. To rename and save your book, from the File menu, choose Save Book As. Give your book a descriptive name and the prefix of _online. Save this book in the Projects folder. Now, create another book with the same name, but with the suffix _PDF. Now that you have created your books, you'll need to add your files. Because we are single sourcing, we will add the same 5 source files for both books and make some adjustments later on. To add a file to your online book, ensure that you are currently viewing that book. Click the Add File button, browse to the Projects folder, choose your file, and click Add. Use the Add File button to add the remaining 4 source files to the online book. You can adjust the file order by standing on the file and clicking the up and down arrows. Now, open your PDF book and add the same 5 source files to that book. The next step is to add your carrier files. Make sure to add your PDF carrier file to your PDF book and your online carrier file to your online book. Notice that my carrier files are outlined in red. This is because the file is excluded, meaning I don't want it included in my final output. To exclude a file, right-click the file and choose Exclude. You should now have 2 books, each containing 5 identical source files and different carrier files. Let's make those adjustments to our source files that we mentioned previously. Here's where the magic of carrier files comes into play. In my PDF book, I'm using the version number 2.0, and the PDF conditional tag is shown while the online tag is hidden. As a professional technical writer, there's no way I'm going to implement these changes on every page of every file. What I should do is import my variables and conditional tags from my carrier files into my source files. Let's go ahead and do this. Open your PDF book along with the PDF carrier file. Highlight all of your source files in your PDF book. From the File menu, stand on Import and choose Format. If needed, click Deselect All to clear all the checked formats. Check only variable definitions and conditional text settings and click Import. Just like that, the settings in your carrier file are applied to all the files in your book. Take a minute to import the variables and conditional text settings from your online carrier file to your online book using the same process you just learned. The last file that we need to add to our book is the TOC. The TOC acts as the backbone of your book and is critical for giving your readers an organized structure of the topics you present to them in the document. Here's how to create the TOC. From the Insert menu, choose Create Standalone TOC. The Set Up Table of Contents pop-up window opens. Here, you define which paragraph tags to include in the TOC. In other words, which kind of text to include. Standard practice is to include heading 1 and heading 2, and occasionally also heading 3. In my files, I used only heading 1, which is the topic of each section. To include a paragraph tag, select it and click the left arrow to move it to the Include column. Notice the option to create hypertext links. This option automatically creates every heading in the TOC as a link, so that clicking on the heading in the TOC automatically jumps to the heading in the text. This option is a must in technical writing documents, especially for large documents, so make sure to keep this option checked. Once your TOC is set up, click OK and your TOC is generated. My TOC is already created, so I'll click Cancel. Create and add your TOC to your second book using the same process. Before we move on, let's review what you should have so far. 2 books, one with the suffix PDF and the other with the suffix online. Each book should contain the following: 5 identical source files, each containing text, along with a mixture of tables, graphics, text insets, and cross-references, 1 individual carrier file, 1 TOC. You can now customize your books to allow for slight differences in file properties, content, and order. Let's explore some of the features in FrameMaker that make this possible. File information. To update file information, stand on the book and from the File menu, choose File Info. This metadata is especially useful when creating the PDF file, especially the title. Once you've inputted the metadata, click Set. Numbering properties. Numbering properties allow you to control the chapter and page numbering in your files. To access the numbering properties, right-click an individual file to make changes only to that file. To apply changes to multiple files, highlight the relevant files. Let's practice making a change to my file, Technical Documents. I right-click the file and choose Numbering. The Numbering Properties pop-up box opens. You'll see a number of tabs, including Volume, Chapter, Section, and a couple more. Each tab allows you to customize various numbering properties for your file. The setting I use most often in my documents is the Page tab. Most of the documents I work with use Roman numerals rather than numeric numbers for the copyright and TOC pages. You can set certain files to use Roman numerals by opening the Format drop-down menu and choosing Roman. After setting the numbering properties, click Set. Pagination. Pagination allows you to set the document as single or double-sided in addition to how to handle empty, even, and odd pages. To access pagination, right-click one file or select multiple files. For example, if I wanted to change the pagination for my Tools file, I would right-click and choose Pagination. Define the pagination options as desired, and then press Set. Headers and footers. All professional technical writing documents include some combination of headers and footers. Therefore, you want to become a pro at updating them easily and efficiently. Headers can include the document name, chapter name, or file name. Generally, footers include the company logo along with the document version number and sometimes the date. Let's open our PDF carrier file. Try clicking on your header or footer. Nothing happens. This is because we're currently viewing the body page. In order to make changes to the header or footer, we need to view the master page. From the View menu, choose Master Pages. Now, our header and footer can be edited. You'll notice that all the text within my header and footer consists of variables. You should also follow the standard in your document to ensure consistency throughout your entire document. For example, let's say you need to update the version number from 2.0 to 2.1. If the text 2.0 is a variable in your carrier file, all you do is update the variable in your carrier file, then import this format into your remaining files. If not, you'll have a big mess on your hands trying to update each file manually. We'll return to the body page view. Exclude feature. As we mentioned earlier, you can define files to be excluded from your output. We use this feature for our carrier files. In addition, I excluded the file history.fm in my online book. The advantage to excluding a file is that you can easily show or hide the file from the output without adding or deleting the file each time from your book. However, the red outline around the file indicating that the file is excluded can easily be missed. Whether you choose to exclude a file or not, make sure to be aware of this change and how it affects your output. Paragraph format. Let's take my overview section for example. My title, Overview, uses the paragraph format heading 1. This paragraph format includes the chapter number, a feature which must be set manually. To set this in your file, stand on the heading 1 text. From the Format menu, stand on Paragraphs and choose Paragraph Designer. The Paragraph Designer pod opens. Click the Numbering tab and check the Auto Number Paragraphs box. Place your cursor in the Format box and scroll down to ChapNum in the Building Blocks window. Now click the ChapNum building block. This building block is added to the Format box. I'll delete mine to avoid double chapter numbers. Click Apply to update only the current text that uses the Heading 1 paragraph format. Click Update Style to update the Heading 1 paragraph format and apply this change throughout your document. Now that you've completed building and customizing your book, you're ready to generate the final output. Hang on guys, there's one last step that's commonly skipped, but one of the most important in book generation. This is updating your book. When you update your book, FrameMaker automatically updates pagination and numbering, in addition to checking for any broken cross-references. Let's go ahead and update one of our books. Open one of your books, stand on the book level, and click the Update Book button. In the Update Book pop-up window, choose which features to update, in addition to whether or not to generate the TOC. Click Update. If your book has any errors, a book error log is created, as you can see happened to me. My book error log tells me that I have an unresolved cross-reference in the tools.fm file that links to the technical documents.fm file. To open the file containing the unresolved cross-reference, click the document path. To be directed to the unresolved cross-reference, click the file. See Lesson 5 for a review of resolving unresolved cross-references. Take a minute to update your second book and resolve any issues. Okay guys, now you're really ready to generate your final output. From the File menu, choose Save as PDF. Browse to your Projects folder and click Save. In the PDF Setup for Selected Files pop-up window, change any of the settings as desired and click Set. Congratulations! You just created your first technical writing document. Go ahead and create a PDF of your second book and notice the slight changes in each caused by the conditional tags and excluded files. Great job today, everyone. Let's take a minute to wrap up our lesson. Alright guys, you did it! Today you mastered the most fundamental and important skill in FrameMaker, building and generating a book. Feel free to give yourselves a pat on the back or take a bow. Seriously though, let's review the process for building and generating a book in FrameMaker. 1. Creating your source files. 2. Adding text to your source files. 3. Creating your carrier files. 4. Creating your books. 5. Adding your source and carrier files to your books. 6. Importing variables and conditional tags from your carrier files. 7. Creating a TOC. 8. Customizing your books. 9. Updating your books. 10. Generating your books. I hope that by this point you feel comfortable with the basic FrameMaker features and can create a book on your own. If you do, great. If you feel the need to brush up on any of the topics we learned or miss previous lessons, I've included links in the description below. Thanks to everyone who commented on my previous lesson. Please share this video with your fellow technical writers or anyone you think may benefit from this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Feel free to leave comments or questions below. Your feedback is important. Best of luck on whatever career path you choose, hopefully technical writing, and goodbye.